I got the email that changed my life forever. Like I got my PPR mail. Like I almost ran mad that day. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious. If you're new here, if you're seeing this gorgeous, beautiful face for the first time, please ensure not to make it your last by clicking on the subscribe button. Ensure you like this video and leave your lovely comments down below. So yeah, today's video I will be telling you guys about my PR journey. Like that's my Canadian PR journey, how I started and all of that till when it was finally over. So yeah, if you see me looking down, that's because I have my notes. I don't want to leave out on any detail. So that being said, I like to put out a disclaimer that I am not an immigration officer, and everything that I am going to be saying in this video is based off from my own personal experience. So one thing I would like to tell you guys is that in this journey, you need to have the virtue called what? Patience, because it can be really stressful, it can be really frustrating, so you just have to be patient. Your mind and your focus should just be on the end goal. So I learned about Canada Express entry in 2019. I mean, all along I thought the only way to come to Canada is through like when you get married, that's spousal sponsorship, or through school, or at most the refugee stuff. So in my case, I didn't really put so much interest in that because I know the school was so expensive, so I couldn't afford it, so I didn't even bother. Then marriage, okay, if it happens, fine. Then the refugee part, I just felt, okay, it's not that bad for me, so it's okay. I didn't really truly even consider that route. So on this fateful day in 2019, I think in March, a friend of mine just like mentioned it, and that was the first time I was hearing it. I'm like, okay, what's this stuff about? She now like gave me like a lowdown of everything, and immediately I picked interest. Like I was so interested. I'm like, so there's this part to go to Canada that I've always wanted to go to. Then I spoke to my dad about it because of course I need the support when it comes to proof of fund. So he gave me the go ahead. So I started the process. In March 2019, I reached out to someone in my school that does transcripts, that helps with transcripts and all of that. While that was going on, I started reading for my IELTS. I registered for IELTS. Like I was just doing everything sharp. I don't know where I was rushing to basically. So after the transcript stuff was done, I sent it to Wes. I created a profile with Wes, sent to Wes, paid for it. So it takes some time. So while Wes was processing that, I started studying for my IELTS. At the time, I'd already paid, so I had a date. So I started reading for it, but I didn't really study for it so much because I mean, it's not the English I've been speaking since all my life. So what's the big deal? So I thought, but I didn't know what was coming for me.
He shock you.
I studied pretty much for it. Then I wrote the exam. After about 13 days, that's like 2 weeks, the results came out and I didn't do well. I mean, it was good enough to create a profile, right? But the scores were not giving what it was supposed to give, basically. So I was really upset. I'm like, Anyways, out of anger, I registered again for the next month, which was July. Yeah, because the previous one I was written was in June. So I registered in July again. And I'm like, what was I even thinking? Like, who does that? Anyways, I'd already paid. I think it was 68K at the time. Yeah, I wrote mine with MOD, as mod. Then I already paid, so I started studying. This time around, I studied very hard for it. So by this time, my evaluation with West was already over. So I was able to enter the pool, and I think my score was 378. I was able to create a profile with my first IELTS. I don't know if that makes sense. So I started studying for the second one. I read really hard and everything. I wrote that one. Results came out. I still didn't. I did better, like I did really well, but I'm going to be inserting my results on the screen for you guys to see. I did pretty well, but my issue was with writing. That was my challenge. Like my work experience wasn't up to 3 years, so I still had 25 points hanging in there. So the day I saw my second IELTS result, I was so bitter. I wept, I cried, I was frustrated. At that point, I wanted to give up on the journey because I wasn't seeing results. Like everything was not just going as planned. So I wanted to give up, but something kept on telling me to like give it one more push. That thing kept frustrating me. I don't know. I mean, I will enter the exam hall and think I've done my best. At the end of the day, I'll get 6.5. So after that, I was still able to increase my score to about 390 something. To about 390, yeah. Then this time around, I decided to slow down on the IELTS stuff. Then I decided to re-strategize and everything, because I didn't have that 68 kids we throwing all over the place, all in the name of the English exam. Then I reached out to these people. They are called PrepmeWell. I'm going to leave their handle on the screen. So they coached me really well, especially the writing part, because that was my challenge. So the mistake I made this time around was I was putting all my efforts on writing, right? Because because I felt the other modules were not an issue for me. So I didn't really put so much focus on the other ones. All my energy and focus was on writing. Then I finally registered for the exam in November and I wrote it. As God will have it, we defeated IELTS. Like, I passed. So I didn't max it, but I passed. Like, I passed my writing, my major challenge. So then I think in my speaking I had 7. I'm like, why will I have 7 in my speaking? So I decided to remark. So why I didn't remark initially, like the previous times I wrote IELTS, was because with mode at the time, to remark was like 45k, and if you apply for your remark, if nothing changes, they will not refund you your money. But if anything changes, they'll refund you back your money. So I didn't want to take that chance because the remarking fee was a lot. So this time around, they had reduced it to 15k. So I decided to remark because I knew my speaking was good. Hello. So thankfully it changed like 7.5, which is not bad. My score moved to 407. When I saw that result, I was super excited. Like, I felt alive. I felt there was hope for me on this journey. Like, I was so happy. With all the joy of defeating IELTS, I decided to sow a seed of thanksgiving to God and begging him and asking him to ensure that this will be the last IELTS I ever write in my life, because IELTS expires after 2 years. You get what I mean? While I was preparing for the third IELTS, I already registered for a postgraduate program, which I started in September of 2019, because even with maxing IELTS, I needed more points because the scores were like increasing at the time. The scores that were getting ITs, it kept climbing up. Even till now, it's even outrageous, right? So I had to start the postgraduate program. Then I started that. When I got my third IELTS result, my score moved to 407, in case I didn't mention that. Then after a few months, my work experience became 3 years. Then it moved to about 432. Yeah, because that was 25 points extra. So it moved to 432. Then COVID happened. This graduate program that I was supposed to do for 9 months or thereabouts got delayed because of COVID, and I ended up doing it for like 16 months. Like, that was how long it took. But finally, as God will have it, we finally finished the program. Then I sent my transcript again to Wes, another money. Then after a while, Wes was done evaluating it and everything. Then my score jumped to 465. So at this point, there had been no invitation to apply, that's IT, throughout the year. So I didn't even know what to do. In my mind, I'm like, okay, God, I've done my best at this point. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do, rather. Remember my seed. Let my seed speak for me, because at this time, my IELTS was over a year. It was getting to 2 years. That's the IELTS that I passed, rather. It was getting to 2 years. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to write that exam again. Like, in my mind, I knew I was done with IELTS, like done with IELTS for life. So another option, or other options I had, was either to do the French exam, which was TEF. I was not psychologically ready for that because it was expensive. I didn't see myself, because I mean, it's a foreign language and all of that. So I didn't want to go through that stress. And mind you, I wrote French in my WAEC and ECO. Like, I used to be a French student. I don't even know why I stopped. I used to go to Alliance Française when I was still very young, in my teens. So if I had continued, I mean, I'd have been a pro now, but I stopped. But that being said, I didn't want to do the French exam. Also to do masters. I didn't want to do masters because that's why I went for postgraduate program, because it was faster. If I knew COVID and everything, I would have just done masters, because with masters you get like extra 40 points. Then with the postgraduate you get like 33 points. I mean, I don't have a sibling in Canada to get sibling points and all of that, so I was basically out of options, and the options I had were not something I wanted to try. So remember I said I started this journey in March of 2019. Then around June or July of, I think June, yeah, June of 2019 or thereabout, or July, I can't remember, I created my first profile. Because for you to create an express entry profile, that's to get into the pool, you need to have evaluated your credentials. That's what I did with WES. WES is World Evaluation Services. Then you also need to have written your language exam, either IELTS, CELPIP, or French. Those are the things you need, and at least a year experience, work experience. Those are the things you need to get into a pool. So I was already in the pool, and the pool is valid for only 1 year. If after 1 year you don't get ITA, it expires, but you can always create another pool, another profile rather, to be into the pool, and it doesn't cost money, it's free. So I created the first profile, it expired, nothing happened. I created the second profile. With the first profile, my score was 378, and I tried to increase it. Then it expired, nothing happened. I created the second one. Then I was in 400s because I'd written IELTS 3 times, work experience, blah blah blah. So that one also expired, nothing happened. That's 2 years gone, nothing happened. Then in 2021, last year, around July or August or June, thereabout, I created the third profile. This time around, my score was at 465. Then on the 10th of August, around 1:30 something a.m., I can't remember. I knew I was in Port Harcourt at the time. I went to visit my family. Then I woke up to pee. Normally when I wake up to pee, like in the middle of the night, I don't just go to bed immediately. I'll press my phone and all of that. So next thing I saw, do not reply. So that's the way emails come from IRCC. I saw do not reply 4 times. I'm like, what happened? I was even scared and worried because I had not logged into my profile in a while. Then when I checked, when I opened the mail, you guys, oh God. When I opened the mail, I saw a notification of interest from Alberta. I'm like, what? Because when you're creating your profile in the pool, right, they will list out all the provinces and ask you which one are you interested in. Me, I used to tick all of them. Anywhere you carry me go, I'm ready for any province. So I ticked everything. Some people don't, I don't know, but whether you tick all or you don't tick all, it doesn't matter. There are no penalties, right, for ticking all or not ticking all. So I usually select everything, all the provinces, because that way, if a province wants to nominate you, they see that you are interested in them. If you don't tick it, if you don't, for instance, if you don't tick Alberta, right, and your NOC, that's your occupation code, is in demand, if you don't show interest by ticking the box, they won't send you notification of interest. So that's how it works. So I now saw Alberta wants me. Hey God, even Alberta wants me. Wow, that was mind blowing. You guys, I was happy. Thinking about it now, I was happy. I started crying in the middle of the night, tears of joy, because I didn't believe it. I'm there's really God, as in God is alive. I had lost hope. I just not lost hope basically, but at that point I didn't want to do anything again. I just left everything into the hands of God. And that fateful early morning, I saw the mail. And the mail says Alberta blah 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 is interested in you. Are you do you want it or not? I'm what? Even if I say no, the kind of slap I will receive from my village people. Are you joking? So I didn't even respond that night. So I managed to sleep for 3 hours. So in the morning when I woke up, I read the mail again just to be sure that I was not dreaming. Immediately I accepted the request. So the next day I read, in the morning, I read the mail properly and proceeded with instructions. And mind you, this was my third profile because the previous 2 had expired. I created this third profile July 1st and I got NOI from Alberta August 10th. So one thing I know Alberta does, they usually will not say the NOC they want to invite, but one thing I'm sure they do is that they always go for new profiles. So if your profile is about to expire, your NOC is in demand, Alberta will not send you notification. Yeah, so that's what I got to learn over time. So I accepted the offer of my full chest, and on the 13th, I got another mail to upload my documents and fill out some forms, which I did, and I paid the application fee of 500 Canadian dollars. It used to be free, but from last year, they started charging for it. So I did not mind. So I paid the money, and I want to use this opportunity to thank my friend Maro. That girl is God sent to my life, because she came through for me in fact, she still comes through for me. She came through for me in so many ways, you get. So because I'm supposed to pay it in Canadian dollars and she's in Canada, or she has been in Canada, she helps me to make the payments at a very good exchange rate. And she didn't even let me stress through that part, because that one alone is stress on its own. So anyways, I was able to pay the 500 card for the application fee, and then I submitted on the 18th. Then I kept waiting and praying for the nomination certificate to come through, right? For it to be approved. The fact that a province sends you notification of interest and you apply for it, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the nomination, but at least 95% of the time you will get it. If you don't get it, that means maybe you made a mistake or something, but 95% of the time you're going to get it. And if you don't get it, unfortunately, the application fee will not be refunded. I think at least that's for Alberta. I don't know for other provinces. So I kept waiting, hoping, praying and everything. Then September 9th, I got another mail with my nomination certificate. You guys, what? Hey, the way I wrote on the floor, the way I'm giving you this just now, you guys might not really understand the emotions and everything that was happening to me at the time. I was so excited when I saw this email, because I'd been waiting for it. I was expectant, right? So I'd been waiting for the email to come through. So once I got that, my CRS score jumped from 465 to 1065, because when a province, once you get a nomination from a province, you get extra 600 points. So there's no how you will not get IT in the next draw. So that was September 9th, and they usually do ITA draws bi-weekly on Wednesdays. So I already knew that 15th of September I was going to get ITA. So I started gathering documents, and the documents you're supposed to submit for post-ITA were similar to the documents that Alberta had asked for. So I already had similar documents. So because I was sure I was going to get ITA the next week, I booked for medicals, because then there were no dates for medicals. People were booking left, right, center. So I was fortunate to get a date for September, I think September 27th. So ITA came, I got on the 15th, we thank God. I started gathering my documents. I had to do my medicals, because you have to do all these things before you submit, right? So I went for my medicals. I think I did my medicals with Q Life in VI, Lagos.
Once I got in, I was asked to register at the reception, and my passport was taken from me. After waiting for about an hour, I was asked to go upstairs, second floor for Canada. I got there, filled a form. I was given 3 tallies, red, green, and blue, for phlebotomy, vitals, and X-ray respectively. And also they gave me back my passport, and I was also given the IME form to cross-check for my info, and a bottle for my urinalysis. Afterwards, I went to give my blood sample, went for vitals, that's to check site height, weight, and blood pressure. And lastly, I went for my X-ray downstairs. When that was done, I went back upstairs to see a doctor for examination, and that was it.
So when I finished my medicals, I went to Studio 24 to get passport photographs, because it will tell you the specifications that it wants, and it's always advisable to go to Studio 24, not just any random studio, right? So I went to Studio 24, got that done. Then I went to Alagbon for my police certificate. So it was really seamless and it didn't take time. An inspector called Inspector Rose, very nice lady. She was the one that helped me and everything. I mean, that was the first time I was enjoying the service from the police force. So it went pretty smooth and very fast. Then afterwards, I went to Igbo Shere High Court to get my gift deed notarized. I also got my bank statement and everything. So at this point, I had gathered all the documents that IRCC had asked for. So I submitted on October 13th. I mean, I was ready to submit before October 13th, but I didn't want to rush it because I mean, October 8th is my birthday. I think I was even ready to submit before that time, but I was like, okay, let me submit after my birthday because I didn't want to like rush things and make any mistake and everything. So I kept on cross-checking and cross-checking and cross-checking and cross-checking and cross-checking. I even got help from the same people that coached me, that was PrepmeWell, for my IELTS, because they also do like immigration stuff. They helped me to recheck all my documents. They were even able to note some errors which they helped me to correct and everything. Then finally on October 13th, I submitted. So once you submit, you get a mail from IRCC in your profile. The subject of that mail is called acknowledgement of receipt. It means they have received your application. So that's your AOR date, acknowledgement of receipt. And again, in case I forgot to mention, before you submit, you have to pay your application fee, right of permanent residence fee, and biometrics fee. Everything was 1,410 Canadian dollars. That's because I'm single. So the price changes depending on your family size. So that was what I paid. Then after I paid that, I submitted and got my like AOR. That was my acknowledgement of receipt, October 13th. Then the main wait time started, you guys. So all along, I always used to pray and ask God that I want my processing time to not exceed 6 months. Like maximum I should have is 6 months, because prior to COVID, it used to be 6 months max. Some people even get it in 3 months. So I kept wishing and praying for that. So after I submitted on the 13th, usually you get your medicals will be passed a month after you've submitted. But because of COVID, there was like delays and everything. So once your medical is passed, you'll be asked to go get your biometrics done. So in my case, I think I passed my medicals January 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, January 5th. Then the next day, January 6th, I went to VFS Lagos, the one on Freedom Way, to get my biometrics done. So the biometrics was not, it was pretty much, it didn't take time. It went really well. Yeah. Hi guys, good morning. Like, I'm still feeling under the weather. I'm not feeling so well. Anyways, I want to go for my biometrics today. Yeah, so today is January 5th, and I got a mail early this morning saying that my medical has been passed, so I could come for my biometrics bill. That's what they call it. Yeah, so biometrics meaning like to give my fingerprints and take passport and all that at VFS. That's visa office. That's where Canadian visa office is. I wonder if I'll like upload these videos, but let me just make them. You never know. And again, for memory's sake, I want to start heading there now. So you know, as usual, I showed you guys I made a video where I went for my medical. So I thought it was wise to also make a video when going for my biometrics. All right, so that when I'm giving you guys the gist, I can show you the clips. So I'll see you guys soon. I don't even think I want to record anything when I get there. I won't. When I'm done, I'll let you guys know how it went. All right, so bye. Hi my loves. So please don't mind my face. I just got back from a party. This makeup has been on my face for hours. Anyways, I realized that I forgot to tell you guys how my biometrics went. My appointment was for 9:30 and I got there by like a few minutes to 9:30. So immediately I got there, they let me in. But before then, while I was outside, all this, I don't know, whenever you go to VFS, you're going to see these random guys on the road trying to tell you, oh, you need to make a photocopy of this, you need to do that, you need to do that. And the bottom line, they're just trying to extort you. So you need to be smart and, of course, ignore them. So I ignored the guy. I got in, they searched me, I entered inside. They gave me a form to fill, I think one form to fill. And like the marks the places we are supposed to fill, either one form or two. If it's one, then it's the front and back. If it's two, then if not, then there was two. I can't really remember now. So yeah, they gave me that. They marked where I was supposed to fill. I did that. Then they collected the forms back. No, they didn't collect the forms back. So some guy came and like gave us instructions on how everything is going to go and all that. So we went to collect. So after that, we don't went to collect numbers. Mind you, at the gate, once they check your what's it called, all your papers, they will write a number on your appointment letter. So you're supposed to go there with your passport, 2 photocopies of your data page of your passport, your main passport, then your biometric letter from IRCC is 3 pages, like that. Then also your appointment letter from VFS. Those are all the documents you need to take to that place. So yeah. So once we like got in, they now give all of us a slip. Each of us a slip containing our own individual numbers. So when is your turn, they call out your number, you submit all your documents, then they like, I don't know, do something on their system, then they put everything in the file and give it to you. Then you take it, then they call you again, take it to where you get your fingerprints and your passport or your photo taken and everything. Then once they're done with that, they give you like a slip and they tell you that once it's time to come and submit your passport. So once you put some PPR and it's time to come and submit your passport, you should come along with the slip. So that was all I did. So the process didn't even take up to 30 minutes because I left there before 10 o'clock. Yeah. So it was pretty easy, very easy. The people at VFS, they are well organized, like you know what they're doing and all that. So everything went really smoothly. If you haven't done that yet, don't stress over it. Just ensure you go there with all the documents you need, and in no time you're out. So yeah, that was what happened. So right now we are praying and waiting for PPR so we can jack back to Canada. Anyway, that was it, guys. So I got my biometrics done and uploaded what I needed to upload, and I think the same day they acknowledged that they had gotten it. They acknowledged they had gotten it. Then I started waiting again, right? So once you've gotten your biometrics done, it means like there's progress, right? Because your medicals have to be passed before you get your biometrics done. Then I started reminding God that, remember I said 6 months, so this was already like 3 months. I submitted October, November, December, January, and everything. January passed, nothing happened. February passed, nothing happened. I was like, God, March, this is the 5th month, oh. So March started and everything. And on the 9th of March, you guys, I got the email that changed my life forever. Like, I got my PPR mail. Like, I almost ran mad, Daddy. I almost ran mad. Like, it was so unbelievable. But it finally came on that day, and I did everything I had to do, which I spoke about in my first relocation video. If you haven't seen that video, you should watch it so you can be up to date. Yeah, so I did everything I had to do, and finally I got to Canada. I'm so grateful to God for this opportunity. Like, I don't take it for granted. So what I would like to say is that on this journey, you need to have the virtue called patience. Like, you really, I think I've said that already, you really need to be patient because it's not easy. Because I remember then, whenever I want to renew my rent, I'll be like, God, this will be my last rent. I'm going to renew here. After a year, I'm not paying rent again in Nigeria. First year passed, nothing happened. Second year, I paid rent. Third year, the same thing. And I know this is the last time. Like, I'm not going to pay rent again. Then also, in my church, there's this form they give like beginning of the year. It's called expectation form, where you're going to put in what you want God to do for you for the year and all that. So I was always putting in, and I want to relocate to Canada before the end of this year. So it didn't happen until 2021. Like, my request for 2022 rather, when I got PPR. 2021. I got IT and all of that. So my point is, why I'm telling you guys all of this is that the timeline that you want, it may not work out for you that time, right? Everybody's grace is different, but just keep hope alive. There's nothing impossible for God to do. when is the right time, it's going to happen for you. You just have to be patient. Some people have hurdles with IELTS. Some people don't have. There are people that I know someone that wrote IELTS just once and max. Then I know someone else that wrote IELTS 15 times. You guys, the person just got PPR. So if the person has stopped maybe the third time, it won't have come. So you just have to keep pushing. It's really not easy, but the goal, like, is really worth it. So just always have that at the back of your mind, and it should always encourage you to keep pushing, and one day, someday, hopefully it will come through. So yeah, that being said, this was my Canadian permanent resident journey. This was everything I had to go through. I just had to summarize this just for you guys because it's long, but at least I have all the major details and everything. Please guys, don't forget to like this video. It really helps with my engagement. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys for 2,000 subscribers. Thank you. So I'm going to see you guys in my next one.